You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
On today's show, we're discussing with Sarah Geike, FEI 4-star judge and co-chair of the USDF Education Committee, the updated dressage education programs being offered for certified instructors. FEI trainer Susie Peacock talks about the differences between adult camps versus traditional clinics. And last, we talk with John Thayer on starting the new dressage-only sales website. Listen in. This is Reese Koffler-Stanfield in Wellington, Florida.
And this is Megan McIsaac in California, and you're listening to the Dressage Radio Show.
Are you sure?
Hi, Megan.
You sure you're in California?
How is California?
Oh, Reese.
Hi, everybody. And Glenn is on too. Hi, Glenn. We're so happy he's here with us. We're having a good time tonight. Maybe it's getting a little late. We're getting a little slap happy. So, Megan, how is California going? Your training's been...
I try to be really positive, and honestly, it's just I'm going through a rough season. It just kind of sucks, Reese. I'll just be honest with everyone, and I'm sorry. I want to say something positive, but it's sunny, but it's going to rain this week, and there's no fire.
So, Megan, next year, Wellington, Florida for you, my friends.
It's just wild here. I don't know what to say, but we all go through bad seasons, and I'm in one. And so, just think happy thoughts for me.
Oh, girl. Well, and I think that's hard too. So I think everyone, if you're up north, I know there's 7 inches of snow heading for Kentucky. Like it's going to be terribly cold up north. So y'all, we're with you. I'm with you all. Wellington, Florida is a great place if you want to come visit. I've had a lot of visitors this year. I am not going to lie to you. There have been a lot of visitors, and they're more. Everyone's like, "Hey, friends. What are you doing next weekend?" Yeah, which is great. We love visitors. I love it. Actually, my family's in town, which is fun this week. I don't get to see my brother and my nieces as often as I would like. So they're here this week, which is fun. So not horse related. I get a little horsey break. But yeah, we had a great Friday night lights last week down here. I don't know if anybody saw Vanilla Ice, the horse. Yeah. And the fact that Vanilla Ice, the rapper, gave him his award. That was pretty cool. Like everybody was singing Ice Ice Baby. Vanilla Ice is literally coming back in Wellington. It was
amazing. I saw all the videos. So fun. I was like, I grew up with Vanilla Ice.
Right? I know. Oh, we were dancing. Everyone's clapping. That horse, it was PJ Rizdi rides him, and his name is literally Vanilla Ice, and he is beautiful. It's I think he's Lusitana Stallion or Andalusian Stallion. Anyways, gorgeous, fantastic Friday Night Lights. She was the last one, and the place came down. Like everyone went crazy, and then when Vanilla Ice walked out, everyone really went crazy. I mean, it was fun. It was really fun to sport. It was great. And I also, it's been good down here. Again, been busy with people visiting, which has been awesome. My new horse, it's just a reminder, if anybody's getting a new horse, my new guy, Rocky, or Forever Rock Me, he's been here from Denmark. He had a long trip from Denmark. And then, landed in South Florida with people he didn't know. And I mean, it's taken a bit of time. It's taken about a month to get him. Yeah. Like now his skin is better. I think it's just a good reminder when you bring a horse, or even bring a horse from overseas, particularly, but if you bring a horse from a different state, it's hard on them. And it's good to have, I didn't have a lot of expectations, which I think was really good. Poor guy. I feel like I'm always like giving him something. Like I'm always in his face giving him something. And he's like, please get that GastroGuard away from me. I know. And I'm trying like to walk in and give him cookies and treats. So I'm always like going in there and he's like, what do you want, lady? But he is starting to like nicker at me now. And like he comes to see me in the pasture. But yeah, he had a rough go of it for the first 2 weeks. I mean, his little skin was a mess, and it was just hard. Yeah. Florida crud. And I think, knock on wood, he had to the vet out a few times. We had a few trips, and it wasn't a social call, if you know what I mean. But but I think we're hopefully on the other side. He's gaining some weight and gaining some top line. He lost a lot of top line muscle. So we're working hard to get that back. So that's been fun and just a lot. We're kind of full season now. Everyone's listening and we're pretty busy, which I'm enjoying and really liking a lot. So yeah, it's all really good. So Megan, come visit me. I would love it.
Okay. I need a vacation.
You need a vacation from your training vacation or your training, I know. But you've been staying positive. I mean, that's the one thing you've been wonderful about and staying positive, I think has been so good. So we're going to next show, we're going to have good news from Megan in California. And we are thinking actually about everyone in California. You guys, it's horrible. So
it is.
Yeah. But on a positive note, we have a great show. I'm really excited. We're going to come back from this commercial break with Sarah Geike, and she's going to talk about the new instructor certification program.
So excited.
Frequently asked questions, brought to you by Kentucky Performance Products. Question: my friend was telling me that supplementing with omega-3 fatty acids decreased the level of inflammation in horses with arthritis. Is this true? Answer: yes. There have been several peer-reviewed studies that have shown that supplementation with the omega-3 fatty acids known as EPA and DHA will help support healthy levels of inflammation in the joints. The best source of EPA and DHA is fish oil. We often recommend adding a high-quality omega-3 fatty acid supplement, such as Kentucky Performance Products, contribute to the diet of horses who struggle with joint pain and stiffness. A KPP customer named Sarah recently posted a review sharing her experience with Contribute. She wrote, "I recently swapped my Western dressage and cow horses over to the Joint Armor and Contribute. Astonishing results! My horses are moving beautifully with more impulsion and suspension in their gaits." You can learn more about Contribute and omega-3 fatty acids EPA and DHA at kppusa.com. Got questions about your feeding program? We can help. Email Karen at questions@kppusa.com or call us at 859-873-2974.
Well, tonight we are really excited to have Sarah Geike. She is FEI 4-star judge, USDF examiner, faculty member, and co-chair with Lilo 4 of the Dressage Education Program. Sarah, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I am thrilled to be here and talk about our program, which we're super excited about.
I know, we are super excited. And as you know, Megan and I being both certified instructors, this is our program. And we want to make sure we get the wording out that things have changed a little bit. And we're excited also to learn what the changes are. So I'm just going to turn it over to you of kind of what's been going on.
Okay, thank you, Reese. A lot has changed, and everyone is probably aware that we had kind of a hiatus where we didn't have any programs that were offered for close to 4 years. COVID didn't help that. Excuse me, but we're now back up fully running. During that hiatus, what happened is we did a complete overhaul of the program and what our educational goals were and what the intent was that we wanted to do. And we had input from top professionals throughout the country, which was fantastic. And we had focus groups that studied every different aspect. And then that brought us to come up with a really revised, updated program in which we're calling it our USDF Dressage Education Program. And in that, there are really two key aspects. All right. The first aspect is dressage seminars. And these seminars are conducted across the country. They can be 1, 2, 3, 4 days. There's a lot of flexibility. The goal of these seminars is that they're open to anybody. They're not certification or testing oriented. It is 100% education. So we had, I'll tell you, this past year, we had such good response to these seminars from both people that eventually do want to be professionals and go to the next track, which I will talk about, but also many adult amateurs. And so we have that one track. They're called dressage seminars. We also have the professional development track, which is for people that are professionals in the field that would like to go and get certified. All right. And these assessment seminars, again, they can be 1, 2, 3 days. Usually they'll most likely be 3 days when they're held. And the areas that both the seminars and the assessments cover are riding training, number 1, teaching, number 2, lunging and groundwork, number 3. So that is the same as it was in the old program. Those are our 3 categories that we cover. In the assessment seminars for the professionals, we have really 2 components. There's still the educational component, and there's still the evaluative component. And the participants will come up with an overall score so that they know where they stand should they want to go ahead and do the certification testing, which is the 3rd step, to actually do the test. So that's kind of in a nutshell the different branches, so to speak, of the program. And let me go back and say that in the assessment seminars, it's not required that they take the original dressage seminars. If somebody's interested in testing or going on in the program, they could, as long as they have recommendation, they could go right into the assessment seminar, and they could decide what level. It could be training first level. They might want to start at 3rd, 4th, or they might want to be thinking about the FEI. So the coursework and the testing ranges from training level all the way up to FEI. So that's still also the same as it was in our old style program.
I had a question. So if it was an instructor that wanted to become a professional and certified in the seminars, could they be mentored, so to speak? Because it sounds like the seminars are very much like a clinic. I did love the old program with the mock testing, and I thought this program is just so valuable. So are they able to be mentored through both the seminars and the assessments?
Yeah, let me go back and start first with the seminars. That's a great question. Thank you. The seminars, because they're open to anybody that wants to learn more, and the format in the seminars is lecture, PowerPoint, and demonstration on day 1. And then on day 2, it is lecture, demonstration, but hands-on. And in day 2, we have that closed off so that people that want to participate in the hands-on, and we take a maximum of 8 people for that, we want to give them privacy so that they feel that they're able to really benefit to the max from the experience. In the professional development, and what you said, Megan, that's a great analogy. It is very much like the mock testing, the pre-cert that we had in the old style program, with the additional element of education. There'll be a lecture, and there'll be lots of input and feedback to the participants there. Also, in the professional development, we do have a mentor program that will be instituted starting this year, where people awesome. That are in that program that have, and you have to have as I said, a letter of recommendation, and then contact USDF and say, I would like to be in that program. So once you're recognized as being in that group, we have a list of mentors that at the moment ranges from all of our faculty, as well as we have 4 individuals that are FEI certified trainers will also be on this mentor list. So the way it'll work is, if Susie's in the program, for instance, and she would like somebody to help, she can contact anybody she wants, figure out a plan that works for her with her mentor. It might be just a phone call. She might go to the mentor and get help. It could look like anything that would help that person be successful. So we're really excited about that because our goal is to help people become the best that they can be. And when they do want to get to the point of testing. We want them to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our goal.
And I'm excited. Yeah, I was just going to say, Sarah, I'm excited because I'm in the FEI group, right? I'm an FEI certified instructor, and we are thrilled and like really like tag us in, coach. Like, how can we help? I was very lucky that Kathy Conley, one of my mentors, when I went through the FEI testing, I kind of sought her out myself because I knew I needed some help testing. And I think the program is better now. Back in the day,
right?
It was not as, you really had to go in and be ready to test. And I wasn't. I was really anxious, had some anxious tendencies with testing. So I worked with her individually. So I know how important the mentorship program is. And even if you're doing the lower levels to reach anybody, reach out to a certified instructor. And Megan as well, like we are all thrilled to help because it is it's expensive because again, in education is expensive and you want to be successful. And we as a collective group, we're all teachers and coaches, we want to help. And so I think that was something that I think that's been great with the new revamp of the program, right, Sarah? There's a lot more instead of old school. Sarah was there. I went through a testing that was really, really difficult. And Sarah was there. And
I remember that. That was rough.
Yes.
All of
it was
it
awful.
was rough.
It was rough for the examiners. It was rough for us. It was a tough one, and that's when I think really that's when Sarah and Lilo really looked at starting to change the program because that one was really hard.
Yeah. No, go on.
So
You're
Sarah,
totally
how
right.
do the mentors? Yeah, how now will the workshops kind of function? If I was a new instructor and I said, okay, I'm really excited about going forward, how would I reach out? Like, what's my next step? Because I think sometimes that's hard to understand what the next step is.
Yeah, that's a real excellent question. Thank you. I'm just reflecting back on all of the seminar series we had this past year. And in those series, every one of them, we had in the seminar aspect, that was those seminars that were open to everybody. I would say probably half of the participants in that were professionals that wanted to go on and test. So
perfect.
they were using the seminars as a way to really check themselves for what their knowledge level was. Were they up to the standard? Were there areas in their education that maybe they could work on before they went to do the assessments? And interestingly enough, we also found at particularly one of the seminar series we did in Connecticut this past summer, we had many certified instructors that have been certified for years that were are very successful, and they came as a tune-up, as a refresher.
Yes.
And it was fantastic because the conversations and the discussions we had were, among the group, and they gave tremendous input. It was invaluable. So I can see that as a direction too, that as word gets out and they see what the value is of this, that we'll be able to also help that group of people too. So yeah, we've really tried to make the whole process 5,000% user friendly.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
And to help them every step of the way. The one other thing we have for the people that are in the professional development track is we've had Zoom talks. We had about, I think, 8 to 10 last year, where last year, two faculty members would work together and make a presentation 1 month. And these Zoom talks were open to anybody in the assessment professional development track. And we're going to be expanding in that this year so that we have a list of people that we are inviting that are more professionals in their field, like in education. Christine Traurig, for example, has agreed to talk once, and we have a list of other people that will be able to offer their own particular expertise. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That'll be great.
I am super excited. I want to be on the list.
Well, actually, you can be on the list, and we have other things in the work too that we're, that as we get more and more momentum, we have more things that we want to incorporate. For example, expanding our online education modules, things like that. So that's kind of a nutshell of where we stand. So I think the easiest way for people to look at it is there's two paths. We have general education in the dressage seminars, and then we have more specific education in the professional development track.
What is available on the website at the moment? I think that's also been revamped, right? So there will be more information coming on to make it a little clearer as well, if you want to read all the information.
Yes, we are actually have been working on it for the past month, is just revising what's up there now and making many more additions so that also, so people would be able to go there and say, okay, here's this, and to be able to find it. Because I know that's been a little bit of a problem too. I'll be honest, I've gone to the website and I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, so, it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
It is. But it's improved, and we're not done improving it. So, yeah.
I love it. Well, Sarah, so if people want more information about the program, who do they email and where do they go to find it?
And this is my email, and you may reach me there at any time. My email is Sarah, SARAH, GEIKIE, all no spaces, at gmail.com.
Love it. Well, Sarah, thank you so much. I know there's been so much work going into this program, and I'm glad that we can get the message out and we're starting to get the information out to everyone, but it is more accessible and it's going to be great. I'm really excited for everyone moving forward, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it as well. So Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you. And Reese, let me just add that, and this is on the website, they can also, for more information, contact USDF office, Kathy Robertson. Her email is on the website at the moment. Mine's going to be added. Excellent. So either one of us will be more than willing to help anybody answer any questions.
And I wanted to add that I will be hosting, and Reese, I think you might be hosting a series of seminars later this year. We are still working on dates, but they are also welcome to contact me, and I'm happy to help anyone who wants to get into the program. So let's do this.
Absolutely. Let's do it. We're excited. We're thrilled. This is a big thing for us here at the show as well. So if you're interested or want to know, you can also talk to Megan and I. We'd be happy to chat with you. Well, awesome. Thanks again, Sarah. This is going to be fun.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay, super. Thank you so much for having me.
Chewy is your one-stop horse shop, from feed and supplements to supplies, medications, and more, delivered straight to your barn, with fast free shipping on orders over $49 and the convenience of auto ship. You'll never have to worry about running out of the brands you trust and the products you need. You can count on Chewy to keep your barn stocked and your horse happy. Start shopping today at chewy.com/equine. That's chewy.com/equine. Hey, I got to tell you guys, I live in a horsey community. There's like 100 horse farms.
Yes.
And
there's Chewy boxes
everywhere. When it's garbage day on Tuesday, when you go by garbage day on Tuesday, and I ride my bike around, there's Chewy boxes at each driveway.
No. Okay, so I'm not lying to you. Last week I was like, I do not have time to, and I just ran out of Triple Crown Senior because Rocky, my new horse, is eating a ton of it, and I was like, no. And I was like, oh no, I got it. It's like, boom. And then I was like, oh, I need dog food too. I was like, oh my God. And it saves me so much time, because to go, it's not far, but it's far enough. And I had to get in the car, and I was like, honestly, it'll be here tomorrow, and I'm doing it. So
how can they afford to ship those heavy bags of feed?
These are questions to ask the very smart people at Chewy, but I'm so very thankful for the fact that they do that. For sure. So I'm with you. Love Chewy, dog food, horse food. And actually, my sister needed some grain in Kentucky for one of my horses. And I was like, same order. Just, you have to watch where it's shipping. Because I've done that. But I was like, oops, this bag of feed is not supposed to be here. It's supposed to be in Kentucky.
It's now snowed on, sitting outside my house till spring.
Yeah, you're never going to see that bag of feed again. It's gone in the snow. But anyways, yeah, fantastic. No, seriously, I use Chewy all the time. I love it. Well, tonight we are so excited to have Susan Huffman Peacock from Norco, California. She's an FEI rider and trainer and a USDF certified instructor through 4th level. Susan, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, you and I we have both trained with Conrad Schumacher for years. And so we have seen each other at clinics and been auditing together. So it's so fun to have you on the show. And we have a interesting topic. I think we're all intrigued and want to talk a little bit about hosting and having dressage camp for adults. I love this idea. And you taught at one for 20 years, right?
Yeah, for over 20 years, I taught the Grand Haven adult camp that was in Jefferson, Ohio. And Robin Ambrose is the one who put it on. And for the entire 20 years, Pam Banker and I were the co-instructors, and we showed up every spring and every fall and taught the camp. Sometimes we did 4 of them a year because we had such a demand, but most of the time we just did 1 week in the spring and 1 week in the fall. But it's a really fun atmosphere to be in a camp, and it's a much different learning environment to be in a camp than just a regular clinic.
What's the difference, Susie?
Well, the biggest difference is the immersion factor. So when you do a camp, some people actually camped on the grounds, like in their horse trailers or in tents even. And some people went to a hotel, but all of the meals are served at camp. So you show up in the morning and have breakfast with your buddies. Okay, you have a lunch break. You have a dinner. Every night after dinner, one of the instructors would give a lecture. And when we did the camps again and again with the same people in it, we had to do a lot of different topics. So I probably have taught 60 different lectures to the camps because we never repeated the same one twice. The camp format that we followed was everybody got 2 lessons a day. And so you'd get one lesson with one instructor in the morning, and you'd have a different instructor for your afternoon lesson. And because of that, the lessons were a little bit short. So everybody rode for a half an hour in the morning and a half an hour in the evening. And we tended to work on one topic for that half an hour. And it was just, for Pam and I, it was just a wonderful experience because we taught so well with each other. And then at night, we stayed in the same, they had like an Airbnb on the property, and we stayed together, and we could talk about our campers, and we could discuss problems that we were having and how we wanted to approach them and things, different ideas that we had. But because we were both certified instructors and we had both ridden with a lot of the same instructors, one of the instructors we both rode with was Geike von Veltheim. And because we had that similar background, we had a lot of the same exercises. And we could tap into that with each other, which was really nice. I've done other camps with Loma Fowler and Sarah Martin, and I think Sarah Geike taught a few of them also. But those camps were one instructor at a time, and there were like 4 or 5 locations. And like a wagon wheel, we would move the instructors from one location to the next. But you were always getting a certified instructor, and it was like a clinic series that shifted. So so the instructors moved, but the people didn't.
I love that.
And so there, you can do them in different ways, which is really, really nice.
No, I think that's a great idea. And some of the lecture topics, do you remember what they were?
We talked everything from understanding the training scale to, I've got a bunch of unmounted lecture topics where we would get bridles and we'd talk about contact, or we would talk about utilizing your seat in the saddle and how to find your sit bones and where to place the sit bones for each individual movement. So we'd have everybody sit on a shavings bale. And you'd stand the shavings bale up and sit on it astride and find your sit bones. And at the end of the night, it was always fun to see what the shape of the shavings bale was, because some people sat really hard on. Some people would sit really hard on their tailbone and squash the back of the shavings, and some people never sat on their sit bones, and the shavings bale looked new.
That's interesting. That's really interesting.
That was an interesting topic. Pam used to like to do a lecture talking about the different conversations that you have with your horse, with your rein aids, your seat aids. I specialize in biomechanics, and I have devised my own system of biomechanics that is very much like a training scale system, that is certain basic ideas that you follow, and then how to manipulate your body in a positive way for the horse. And there's a hierarchy of skills you need to have, just like the training scale. Mm-hmm. And so I taught a lot on the biomechanics.
And these clinics are run through USDF, and does USDF run them, or do you need to have locals like in a GMO organize them? How does that work as well?
They used to be USDF, I don't want to say sponsored, but they were organized in a way that USDF would recognize them. Okay. And that's what made it so that you had to have your meals included. You had to sit with everybody. People had to stay in the same place. They had a bunch of rules and guidelines for the USDF adult camps, and then you could get university credits for having gone to the camps. I don't know if they're still doing that. The majority of the camps became privately run, mm-hmm. and then you just find an organizer who wanted to organize it and had an idea on what they wanted to do. And so sometimes we would have themes at the camps. Like one entire year, I wrote an article for the USDF Connection on cavaletti training for the dressage horse. And so for that entire year, every camp that I taught, everything I did was on simple cavaletti exercises that you can do at home, which is not the same as the sea of cavalettis that a lot of people are doing cavaletti clinics where you come in the arena and there's 100 poles in the arena.
Yeah.
Yeah. These were very simple, like 6 poles at the most. And you would incorporate how to work the horse through it as a warm-up, a workout, and a cool-down.
That's fantastic. I love all these ideas. And were the camps usually a week, or how long did they last?
They were usually 3 to 4 days.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I think that's a lot. I think that's probably right.
And 2 rides a day plus lectures.
Yeah. It's a lot. Yeah.
That's a lot. 3 was a really good number.
I would think 3 days would be perfect.
It always made me laugh, though, because at the end of the clinic, it was always a race to get out on time to get to the airport to catch our flights. I don't ever remember having an extra 10 minutes before it was time to leave, because people wanted that one more question, that one more thing to do. And, we were in the spring, we were the first clinic of the season after snow and after people couldn't ride. And then in the fall, it was the last hurrah before they couldn't ride again.
For the winter,
So I think everyone up north every minute.
Well, and I think that's one of the reasons we love this idea is I know up north more snow is coming, at least to Kentucky. Yep. And, I think this is a cool time to maybe sit down with your friends and plan it and reach out to some instructors.
If anybody's interested, I would love to do the camps again. I would love it.
Yeah.
Because when Grand Haven sold and we stopped going, it was sad. And there's a lot of my campers out there. I'm hoping they're listening to the radio show. They've kind of dispersed themselves over the country. Some of them moved out of the area, but I still keep in touch with them. It's just so flattering that they still, have a connection to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But it was really nice. And it was very grassroots.
Yeah. And I think I've heard of, go ahead.
I was going to say it was everything from people who couldn't do trot rising on their horses to people that were working piaffe passage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I've heard people also adding in yoga components, bringing in yoga instructors or even workout, instructors to help with that, bringing in some other people as well, I think is a great idea.
I used to do a local clinic here in California that we called the Pink Peacock Clinics. And I brought in a Pilates instructor whose name was Kendall Pink. and I was Susan Peacock. So it was the Pink Peacock Clinics. And we did mat work in the morning and riding lessons in the afternoon, where we took what the body components we worked on in the morning and then showed them how that transferred into the biomechanics of the rider in the afternoon. We did that here in California, and we did that in Pennsylvania.
Fun.
There are so many ideas, and there's so many ways to keep your riding fresh and diverse.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I love this. Well, Susan, thank you so much for your time tonight. And if our listeners have questions or want to reach out to you, how do they do that?
The easiest way to find me is on my website, which is DRESSAGEPeacock.com. I must admit, I have moved from the stable that's listed on the website, but my friend still owns it, so it's not bad advertising for her. And I'm just teaching clinics and riding my own horses at home now, so I don't have a stable that I'm working out of. But you can always give me a call, and if you Google Dressage Peacock, because Susan Peacock was taken by a wonderful show manager we all know and love.
Yes, and love.
And love. She's the nice Susan Peacock, I guess, because everyone says she's so wonderful. But you can Google me and find my phone number. You can call me. You can reach me at dressagepeacock.com. You can reach me at dressagepeacock@gmail.com. I'm on Facebook. You just have to have Susan Hoffman Peacock, or you get the lady in Oklahoma. And I'm the lady in California.
I love that.
It's so much fun to share the name with her.
Right. I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time tonight. The great ideas. It's fantastic.
Well, thank you. I'd love to chat with you anytime you have time.
Guys, you're having one of my old friends on, and I appreciate it. His name's John Thayer, and he has a fantastic new website, and I'm glad you're having him on to talk about it.
Well, tonight we are so excited to have John Thayer on the show. He has started Eventing Nation, and now he has a new project and just Eventing Nation, but many other websites. And he has started a new dressage website, sales website called Dressage Only. John, welcome to the show.
Wow, Reese and Megan, thank you so much. It is a privilege to be here. I love the Horse Radio Network. I met Glenn first in 2009. I was 21 years old, and we met up at a media meetup. And Glenn was so kind to me then, and he's been sort of a mentor since then. And you guys are just as nice off the podcast as you are on the podcast. So it's just it's a privilege to be here.
So laughing so hard. We had to get the tape started. We're like, wait, we got to actually get started with this interview. Yeah, we got to work a little bit. We had us laughing so hard before we even got on. So I love it. Well, John, tell us a little bit about yourself, because I know Eventing Nation because of my eventing friends. But if people don't know a little bit about your company and what you do, tell us a little bit about it.
I would love that. I also want to just say I'm a huge fan of the Dressage Radio Show. I thought that your recent interview with Eliza was like one of the most important discussions I've ever heard for the horse world. So you guys are just doing tremendous stuff, and so glad to be here.
We want to keep getting that interview. That's a really important interview. If you haven't heard it, everybody, please go or you have a dressage professional or any professional. I think that is a really important topic too. So thanks for noticing that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I was riding full time. I mentioned way back in 2009, and it was kind of frustrating. It was hard to find good news about 3-day eventing. And somebody said, why don't you just start a website? And I was crazy enough to do that. And that's kind of how Eventing Nation started, just sort of nights and weekends, when I wasn't in the barn. And we made a ton of mistakes, but people loved it. And kind of the rest is history. And I got interested in marketplaces with Sport Horse Nation, which was kind of a similar story, where we had Eventing Nation going and people were coming there for their eventing news. And people kept emailing us and just saying, like, there's nowhere that we can go to buy or sell eventing horses. There's just nowhere for eventers. And, I was like, just didn't listen to them for a while. And then finally I was like, okay, fine. And we just started Sport Horse Nation. And there was technology was terrible. I mean, literally people would email in their listings and we would post them manually, but it was great. And it was the place where all the eventers came, and it kind of turned into this thing where, tons of people have bought and sold horses. And it's really been one of the, I think, like the fun and good things that have come out of Eventing Nation. And so, that was kind of, how everything got started. And then I went off and did some non-horsey work because my kids are addicted to this thing called food, and I had to find a way to pay the bills. But, back at the end of last year, my former upper level horse, he lived a long and happy life, but he passed away, and a couple other things, conversations were happening. And I just thought, wow, I want to hop back into the horse world on the business side of things. And so we were long overdue for a redesign of Sport Horse Nation. We put that together, and that was really well received. And then we kind of said, well, is there anywhere else where this platform might be helpful? And that's when we started thinking about dressage.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. This is fantastic. We need dressage only website. I sell horses, so I'm very excited to hear about dressage only.
Yeah. And I mean, I think some of the thinking behind it was just, really seeing, hey, having this community where it's just for eventers to come and buy and sell eventing horses, be so successful with Sport Horse Nation and be really well received. That was kind of, we just kind of took that idea and said, hey, we think this could be awesome for dressage. I mean, my eventing friends all roll their, eyes when they hear me talking about dressage. I'm like, the eventer who's like, I'll do dressage if you promise I can do cross country after. But
that seems more likely. Yes. There's a promise. You have to do this, but it's like bribery.
I think I've done like 6 of the worst 10 eventing dressage tests ever, which is saying something.
I've seen some pretty bad ones. I'd like to see a video and maybe have a contest on who had the worst. Like, I've seen some pretty bad ones. When I'm standing there, I'm like, oh boy. Yeah.
But I mean, top dressage is just, it's awesome. And it's, a big sport. And it's kind of, a lot of these things just come out when you are thinking, hey, this is crazy that there's not a dedicated place for people to come and buy and sell dressage horses. And, kind of my thinking is like, hey, is this somewhere where somebody can come and spend 5 minutes and have it be worthwhile for them to find a dressage horse? And that's really kind of like the North Star kind of guiding principle that we're working on. And I think so far it's gone really well. So.
Yeah, it was good. I actually used the site. We had talked, and then I actually used the site on an appraisal I was doing this week, because that's something that I do, is the equine appraisals. And it was a really easy site to navigate, which I liked, because sometimes, it's just hard to find information. So I was able to go there and kind of get some information that I needed. So how do people, obviously, how do they find it, but how do they get horses on the site?
Yeah, for sure. So the website is dressageonly.com. So you can just go to that and you click create a listing, and then you fill out a little bit of information and just put in the horse's information and click submit, and it just posts right on up there. So, and I'm happy we can give a promo code to your readers for free listings, and I'll be happy to share that with you guys, and you can put them in the show notes. So.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the site right now, and I see these little hearts under each ad. What does that mean?
Yeah, great question. So that's just a way that you can favorite a listing. So if you're browsing through horses and you say, hey, I want to save a few listings I can either come back to and look at, or then I'll go and contact the people who are selling the horses, then it'll just save the listing in your profile. So, and it's, the platform is very similar to the Sport Horse Nation platform. And, as I said, the redesign of that has been very well received. And I wasn't sure how it would go. And, we just put it out there and shared it with a few friends in the dressage world. And we had 100 plus listings in the first couple of weeks. And it was like, wow, that's a big response. We kind of caught the tiger by the tail here. And then I'm like, oh man, we need to go and find buyers. And that's when I called Glenn and was like, Glenn, help me out. How do we tell people about this?
And that's how we met. Glenn's like, hey, Reese, help him out.
Exactly.
I love. It's great. I love it. So how do the horses or people get vetted? Is there any vetting process on that site?
So we keep a close eye on all the listings that go up. So, basically I or one of our team members is looking at every listing that goes up on the site. And, I think because it is just that community of dressage people, we have never had any issue with any listing on Dressage. And I'll say the same thing about Sport Horse Nation, which has been around for much longer. When you have just a community of just eventers or just dressage people, then, it's going to be you're going to get credible listings and credible buyers. And it's not about getting everyone on the internet trying to see these horses, but trying to get a bunch of people in the dressage community who are credible buyers and people who are credible sellers together. And so we're not trying to be the biggest horse sales site in the world. We're just trying to be the best community of dressage people sales site.
Oh, I love it. And are there different tiers? In the past, I have advertised online. So like, can I put as many pictures and videos as I want? Or is that for different tiers? Or is there just one price as a seller when I put my horse on?
Yeah, great question. There's just one tier. You can put as many videos as you want. The form has 3, but if you want to link to more in the description, you're welcome to do that. I think it's up to 10 or 15, maybe it's even 20 photos. But yeah, everybody gets the same number of photos and videos, and all the listings are treated the same. Yeah, so.
I love it. Well, John, this is so cool. So once again, how can our listeners find the website? Say it one more time.
www.dressageonly.com. And we're on Facebook, and you can email us at dressageonly@gmail.com. And we'll send you guys a promo code that you can put in the show notes as well.
Well, I really appreciate all the nice things John said. He is a good guy, as you can tell. And I love this website. The design is great. He does a good job with websites and making them. One of the things about the early sales websites, and even some of the current ones, is they're just hard to get around. And this one, he has 80 different ways you can search for a horse. So I like that. He also apparently doesn't want to make any money because he just gave us a code. It's HRN. Just use the code HRN for Horse Radio Network, and you get unlimited free listings until March 15th. So Reese, go ahead. If you have any, Megan, if you have any, just go ahead and put them up. Yeah. And it's not like it's expensive anyway. It's $49.
No. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's perfect. That's great. Mm-hmm.
John, maybe not give some stuff away for free next time, and you'll make some money doing this.
Everybody use it. Excellent. Thank you so much. Well, everybody, Megan and I want to remind you of the book that we have going this quarter. It is Build a Better Athlete by Leslie Webb, and you can get that at horseandriderbooks.com. And I hope you're starting at 16 exercises for your horse. And I actually was leafing through this. I haven't started it yet, but they're great exercises, and I'm going to be starting to use them tomorrow. So really, really enjoy that. And as always, you can find our show notes and links to today's guest on our page at horseradionetwork.com. Search Dressage Radio Show. Like us on Facebook, just search Dressage Radio Show. My website is maplecrestfarmky.com, and my email is reese@horseradionetwork.com.
And my website is lindenhoff.com, and my email is lindenhoffllc@gmail.com. Thank you to our sponsors, Kentucky Performance Products and Chewy. If you'd like to support our show and the Horse Radio Network, you can do that through the auditor program found at horseradionetwork.com. Keep on kicking on.